If you think what you're doing in Pilates studios packed with 12 plus reformers is actually Pilates, you've been fooled. What they're calling Pilates isn't Pilates at all. I've spent years watching this amazing method get commercialized into a fitness, yoga, sort of dance routine that just happens to be done on Pilates apparatus. Oh, who am I to say this? I happen to be a second generation teacher of Joe Pilates with almost 30 years of professional experience. Today, I'm going to show you exactly how the fitness industry has watered down this powerful method, why it matters for your results, and how to spot authentic Pilates instruction that will actually transform your body. The first major problem with pseudo Pilates is that it's been made accessible. Read that as cheaper, but at the cost of actually making real improvements to your body. Studios have watered it down to keep it arguably safe in order to fit more people in a class. Here's the thing, Pilates was actually never designed to be practiced in this way. So what ends up happening in this pseudo Pilates approach is you see lots of repetitions. They're rarely doing the original Pilates exercises, less attention to movement quality, and ultimately no relation to the Pilates principles of movement. And these easy, feel-good movements might leave you feel a little worked out, but with no real results in your body. Movement with the right amount of resistance leads to better strength and stability than the general fitness approach of simply adding more weight to make the exercise harder. So the true method is more demanding and precise. That's how Joseph Pilates designed it, to rebuild the human body. And he said physical fitness is the first requisite of happiness. And he meant real physical fitness, not just movements designed to make you feel comfortable. Making an exercise easier doesn't build the strength, the grace, and control that Joe Pilates intended, nor why so many people fell in love with the Pilates method. The dancers, the athletes, the Hollywood actors. People achieved dramatic physical transformations precisely because the method was demanding and precise. There is a fundamental difference between random movement and moving the Pilates way. While all movement can feel nice, and don't get me wrong, Pilates creates real change. Like, let's take the short spine massage, for example. It's a powerful exercise that most studios, they don't even teach it anymore. It's an exercise that requires you to roll your spine up and over your shoulder blocks and your shoulders with your feet in the straps. It creates an incredible spine stretch and gives you mobility with core integration, and it's been completely eliminated for most of these pseudo Pilates programs because it requires real skill to teach it safely and effectively. I had a student who's been doing Pilates at a popular chain for 3 years. She came to me so frustrated because she wasn't seeing results. When I put her through the proper classical exercises with appropriate resistance and attention to her form, she could feel the difference within minutes. She looked at me and said, I had no idea I was supposed to be working this hard. And within 6 weeks, she had more core strength than she had built up in 3 years in her pseudo Pilates studio. Joe created a system that actually makes your body smarter by re-educating faulty movement patterns. It's corrective by nature, and that's what gives you the real results. See, unfortunately, that's what's been lost in the pseudo Pilates programs. Now, there's nothing wrong with non-Pilates movement as long as you know what you're signing up for, which is why I'm making this video to begin with, to inform you about what you're actually getting or what you're not getting. The second major problem is the lack of quality control in instructor training and studio operations. The growing demand for Pilates has led to an explosion of minimally trained instructors, and they're teaching after these weekend certification programs. And studios are cramming too many people into classes, making them more like a fitness class than corrective movement experience. They're a workout too, a corrective movement experience they're designed to be. These businesses are prioritizing profit over instruction, hands down. There's no attention to detail. There's no attention to hands-on and no real understanding for the method itself. I've seen this phenomenon before when I walk into a popular chain studio and see an instructor with like 12 people on the reformers trying to teach a complex movement, especially a complex spinal movement. The instructor, they can't get around to everybody. They can't put hands on. They don't even know how to cue the nuances that makes the exercise effective. How can they possibly give the individual attention to everyone? To me, that's fitness entertainment. It's not Pilates instruction. And here's another example. A student came to me after getting injured at another studio because the instructor never corrected her form and she'd been kind of overcompensating with her neck for months. So she developed a chronic pain and it took us weeks and weeks to resolve it. So how do you find authentic, effective Pilates instruction? Here's what to look for. Find instructors with extensive training in the Pilates methodology, not just a weekend certification. Look for NPCP, which is the National Pilates Certification Program, comprehensive or MAT credential. It's a third-party exam separate from their school or training certification. Look for small class sizes, like say 5 or less, so that you can get individual attention. Look for a proper assessment of your individual needs and limitations. Find instructors who can explain the exercises correctly. If you come into a real Pilates studio, be patient. There is a little learning curve. I had somebody once come to me and they said, ah, this is going to feel like the Pilates that I know. And I said, yeah, because this is real Pilates. I've also had physical therapists and chiropractors tell me that their patients get stronger and faster when they supplement their treatments with Pilates, traditional Pilates, because the method addresses the body as a whole integrated system and it really helps. So if you want to experience real Pilates, I've created a whole progression of workouts at pilatesavatar.com. It uses the reformer as well as other Pilates apparatus and the mat, so you can do it without apparatus to build the strength and control to get you real results. The link is in the description below. Just remember, your body deserves better than a watered down imitation. Get the real thing. Work out with me live or on demand at pilatesavatar.com. I hope to see you there.